I have been a strong proponent of trying to be as open as possible with these programs as far as our explaining what we're doing. What we need to do is optimize transparency on these issues, but at the same time optimize secrecy and the protection of our national security. I don't think that it's one or the other. It's trying to optimize both of them. And so what we need to do is make sure we explain to the American people what are the thresholds for action, what are the procedures, the practices, the processes, the approvals, the reviews. The Office of Legal Counsel Advice establishes the legal boundaries within which we can operate. It doesn't mean that we operate at those outer boundaries. And in fact, I think the American people will be quite pleased to know that we've been very disciplined, very judicious, and we only use these authorities and these capabilities as a last resort.
So there you have it.
Hey, hold on a second. I just got to say this one thing. This guy is saying, hey, we kill people. He's a murderer, and therefore saying, but don't worry, trust me, I only do it when I have to. Yeah. I mean, who believes a murderer? Well, what kind of person believes a murderer?
It's kind of ridiculous. The first thing you noticed was that he said that the bullshit he came out with, which he wants to optimize transparency and optimize secrecy. How do you do that?
I'm still picking my jaw up off the floor.
Bit of both. And then obviously the legal boundaries. The president would only kill an American as a last resort. But obviously legal boundaries, like you're saying, Jason, legal boundaries in this situation.
What has floored me is that I, an American, have lived to see the day when the representatives of our government would seriously entertain someone saying, can we arbitrarily kill American citizens? I mean, that's just insane. It's flabbergastingly insane. If you're an American and you hear that and you're like, what the...
But that's the whole point. The whole point is it's gone to that point now where people are...
They are actually saying things like that
this was
in the American Senate hearing and actually expect people to think that there is any sanity still in that government body?
Yeah. I mean, he talks about legal boundaries and, we've established the legal boundaries and stuff, but they've already decided that they can kill American citizens on the say-so of some shadowy CIA group and also the president. But
we promise we won't abuse this power when you give it to us.
As long as... Yeah. I mean...
The executive, whether king, tyrant, president, getting this power is the crowning moment of a dictatorship or the end.
Well,
that's the end of the democracy. It's freaking over.
Well, there's that clause in the Fifth Amendment, of the U.S. Constitution that says that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. But we can just blow you up with a drone strike.
That's a violation of the Fifth Amendment, just plain and simple. Yeah, period. No more democracy. Boom, gone.
But it doesn't matter. And this, I mean, they're having this discussion, and this guy, John Brennan, he's basically a career CIA guy. Obama tried to get him nominated him as the CIA director back in 2008, and his nomination was rejected because of his past history because he was basically the torture czar before he became the drone assassination czar. He was right there in the center of the whole.
The Bush torture thing?
Under Bush, legitimizing because he was CIA.
And Obama was going to change things.
Obama was going to change, but he's not. He's basically...
And everything was going to be fixed and...
So this guy has... It's like he has this... I mean, he's a killer, basically. He's an assassination czar, right? I mean, what difference is there if you take away the flowery words and the Senate hearing and all this kind of stuff and the way they're discussing it and legal boundaries? What difference is there between people like him and the Nazis?
There is no difference.
I mean, they all wanted to kill as well. They were all bloodthirsty
It's
maniacs.
Night of the Long Knives all over again.
But it's just presented in different terms. But it's exactly the same. Hang on, we've got a call. Hi, caller. What's your name and where you? Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Michał.
Hi, Michał. Where are you calling from?
From Poland.
Oh, Poland. We like Poland.
Glad
Yay,
to hear
Poland.
you. Hi.
What's your question or comment?
Well, in fact, I called because to get this opportunity to hear you live. To hear you live. And well, one question which I made a minute ago was the question to Laura. Is I mean, you realized a lot of things, and today's topic about catastrophes and social hysteria, and but the question about comets. How do you think would it be possible to realize such a knowledge without support of Cassiopeians? And other question related to this one was, which was the first material which made you realize that there is something in this subject that I don't know, that these catastrophes are happening.
Well, let's break this down into simple questions. First, how would I have been able to realize this knowledge without inspirational help, shall we say? Most of the work that I've done has actually been work, because for me, inspiration is just that. It's 10% of the process. Everything in my book is research through science. I have gone through the material. I have gathered together the work from peer-reviewed journals. I have gathered together the work from some of the best scientists on the planet. I have assembled it. Yes, there has been inspiration, but I would have to say that it's work. It's work. There is inspiration, but it's work. And so that's one thing I would say. The other thing I would say is that my interest in the whole topic began when I was very, very young, which was the most basic question which probably every thinking person asks, which is, why are we here? What is our purpose? What's this all about? I'm here on this planet. I have all of these various inputs and outputs in my system. What are they really for? What's the meaning of life? And and it just kind of took off from there. If there's any meaning to life, how does evil exist? Why are people cruel to one another? These are all basic fundamental questions. I have spent my entire life researching those questions. For me, the Cassiopeian experiment is just a 10% part of what I do. 90% of it is freaking hard labor. And these people around here sitting at this table will tell you that I read sometimes until my eyes literally, turn red and swell and weep, because there is so much material to cover.
Yeah. And Michael, you realize, I'm sure you know that, or maybe you don't know, but I mean, all of the data that Laura has uncovered is all out there. It's data from many different sources that exists. It's not supposition or something that she made up or something that was, came to her in a moment of inspiration necessarily. Surely there were little hints in the inspiration, but that was just that just led her to go out and look for all of the hard evidence, and all of the hard evidence is there. So everything that we say is backed up by hard evidence.
And we have to give credit to there's a marvelous series of scientists, whose work I rely on heavily. And, they're like Fred Hoyle and Victor Klug and Mike Bailey and Mark Bailey and Bill Napier and Richard Firestone and Alan West and Simon Warwick Smith. I mean,
they're all scientists.
These are all scientists, and some of them I communicate with directly, and ask them questions, which they answer for me, and that information goes into my book. So when I write stuff, it's not because I'm so damn smart. It's because I'm standing on the shoulders of these giant intellects, and they have done some of the most amazing work. And they are unsung heroes, really.
All right. Thanks for answering.
All right, Michael.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
Good to hear you, and wish you all the best.
You too.
Take care of Poland for us.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Anyway, yeah, so obviously people are interested in comets and stuff, but
not surprising after what's just happened.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say this was the largest kind of event like that since Tunguska.
Yeah, since
That we know
Tunguska,
of.
yeah, and they've said that it was the biggest one in 100 years, and I would say that was since Tunguska.
Do we want to hear it?
Hear it?
Yeah. Everybody, okay, listen up here because we're going to play the sound of this exploding meteor or comet fragment, whichever it was. We've cut this. We've extracted this from one of the videos where it was recorded, and you're going to get to hear the actual sound of an exploding meteor. If you haven't heard it already, I hope you've already looked at the video.
Just so you know what it sounds like if it happens again. Pretty cool, huh? Sounded like a bomb.
How far away was it?
They think between 10 and 15 kilometers up.
No, well, I mean from that place where that recording was made.
Oh, he was directly below it.
Well, not directly below, but
he was in the city.
Well, but there was the explosion, yeah. So he was pretty much below it when the big one happened, and that was the detonation, that was the ablation, and then the other explosions I heard afterwards were either
Smaller fragments
further off, hitting the ground, or exploding further off as they travelled down.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, you want to hear it again? Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear it again. That was
Did you hear the
awesome.
weird noises?
That was car alarms going off and stuff,
No, but
and shattering glass.
There's another weird noise if you listen really closely.
Reverberating, booming.
No, listen very closely, and it's not a car alarm. It's
Here it is.
something else.
No?
It's not a car alarm. It's like
Do-dee-doo.
no, not that one. It's weird. It's on this little. I don't know. It's a weird sound.
Maybe it was the...
That's why I thought it was techno music when he first played it, because there was this slight sound in the
It's not-
background.
It's not something you hear every day, but,
It was probably some kind of siren.
maybe we'll hear them every day.
No, it wasn't patterned. Like it wasn't a recurring pattern.
The thing is that that's a pretty awesome thing to experience, and the fact is that there are records of people experiencing that and worse, and there are descriptions of it in ancient writings, and this is some of the material that I'm going to be presenting in the upcoming volume that follows the Horns of Moses. So we're going to have, I'm going to be actually quoting the direct words of some of the witnesses of these events. And now that we have, maybe we ought to include a little, CD with the next book that has this recording on it, so people can understand what these people were talking about.
A reference, yeah.
Because it was, and just imagine people back then without their knowledge of astronomy and things that we have nowadays. This was, what you just heard was the thunderbolt of Zeus.
Yeah.
That's what it was called.
That was Zeus. He was really pissed off too.
Yesterday, a Sott reader put me on to a podcast by Flip High, in which he claims he had in contact with someone from the city of Shabanin, I think it's called, where this thing impacted overhead. And the lady there described that as soon as the boom happened, she temporarily lost her hearing.
Yeah.
And then it came back to her gradually. And she said that there was something she couldn't really describe, but she felt like the way she described it was something happened to her brain, that she'd had her state of mind had changed.
Yeah. Well, I guess mine would change too after something like that.
Life-changing event right there.